You were here when people were. I mean, it was just unbelievable. We've been trying to recreate that era, and we were talking about it earlier. I know I've got a Jayden Daniels jersey, and I'm scared to wear it because of jinxes and stuff. But that's my own brain. But I'm now proud to wear the gear. I don't really like the name. I'm not asking you to comment on it, but whatever. Yeah. But I'm proud to wear the gear again. And literally, Charlie, and I know I'm not the only one, for 20-some years, I got some great stuff, too. Great stuff. Yeah. And I just was embarrassed to wear it. And I can't even really answer why. I think because we just lost all the time. It was just kind of humiliating. And now, Charlie, people wear the gear, even though I'm not asking you to comment on it. They don't really love the name, but they love the gear, and they're talking about it. Everyone's talking about it. I'm in the nursing home, visiting my mom, a rehab center, and they're all watching the football. I mean, it's unbelievable. Yeah.
No, I get it. I mean, you all know what it was like when it was the same way, and I'm glad it's back that way. They used to say that the government was more efficient when we won and not as efficient when we lost. Right. I think, well, of course, they're all work from home now, so I don't know what you say about that. But I was in a lot of government buildings, and they're all Redskin fans, or Washington fans, or whatever. Right. So the police, hey, you want a parking spot? Hey, you're going to get a good one when you're winning. Right. So, no, it's great for the city, and I think it started with the change in ownership. I think they could have named anybody, though Josh Harris is doing a good job, and they would have been excited. Okay, and I think Quinn's greatest asset as a coach is the single most important thing you have to do. I know him very well, is building a culture. Okay, and getting players to play hard. When you watch him on television, the two things that jump out on television is, number one, they play hard. They play their butts off. Okay, I don't think they're not as good as their win total. Okay, and maybe they'll take a step back on wins as they build the program, like the Vikings did a little bit. But they play hard. Right. And the quarterback, this guy might be Mahomes. Okay?
Look at that!
This guy might be Mahomes.
Love that comp.
A faster Mahomes.
What's that?
A faster Mahomes.
Well, he's faster than Mahomes.
Yeah.
This guy's got an uncanny knack with 2 minutes to go.
Right.
So he really does. So,
I told these guys, Charlie, and listen, part of it is a little shtick. I'm doing a radio show, whatever. But right away, I'm like, this guy's going to be great. He's going to be one of the greatest of his generation. Now, you never know with injury and, things can happen. But if things stay, like this kid, if he stays healthy and keeps his head on straight, which there's no reason to think he won't, his future is unbelievable.
But, Charlie, I was also mocked when after the first 9 or 10 games, I pointed out to half of the room that Jayden's stats were better than Patrick Mahomes. He was having a better 9 or 10 game stretch than Mahomes, and I was mocked.
No, because that's not what you said.
There was mockery going on.
You said he was better than Mahomes. You didn't say he's having his stats were better.
I think he was saying statistically.
No, I don't think so. That's why we jumped all over him.
That's when he backed down.
So Charlie,
Charlie,
no,
this guy. I mean, don't you agree? This guy. I actually said I think he's going to end up a Hall of Famer.
Well, I'm not ready to put him in the Hall of Fame here yet. But the guy's acts like an excellent passer. Every step I hear is the work habits are good.
Yeah.
The offense is different than Kansas City. Kansas City is based on throwing the ball and not the quarterback running. Mahomes makes plays. This offense has a lot of runs in it. Okay, which makes it hard to defend because you only have a week to defend it. I worry about will this guy get banged up and hurt? Okay, that's because they need him to run the ball.
Right.
Mahomes, they don't need Mahomes to run the ball. Okay, and that's how I see the two offenses different. So we just got to hope that this guy doesn't get banged up to the point where he's not the same quarterback. So
right.
So Charlie, we've talked about this a lot this season, but last year Washington was 4-13. Terrible coaching staff. They knew they were done. Quarterback situation was dreadful, and now this year, you flip the script, and if they win Saturday night, they're 14-5. So they went from 4-13 to possibly 14-5. I look back at Houston the year before they drafted Stroud; they were 3-13-1, And then Stroud's rookie year, they go 10-7. They lose to Baltimore in the divisional championship. So, but I kind of think this is a better turnaround. Have you ever seen a turnaround, a one-year turnaround like this?
I don't know. You might have to look it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
There's a better turnaround than this for this many wins.
Yeah.
On this kind of situation, I think that I think they play hard. I think their record is probably better than what their talent is, but that's coaching, and that's always good. You always want to have a better record than the talent. Okay, so I think as they process through this, we'll see how that goes. But Quinn knows what he's doing. He's a good coach, and they overhauled the roster. They're doing a good job placing the players, and we all knew they've got some offensive players that are legit. So running back and wide receiver and quarterback. I mean, those guys can play for anybody. So that's a positive right there.
How do you say you know Quinn very well? Can you give us some background? How do you know DQ so well?
Well, I do a lot of work with development coaches and general managers, which is confidential. But I've known him since he was at Seattle, and he couldn't come to one of our seminars, so I kind of reached out to him on one of my trips for working for television, and we just developed a relationship. And so I've kept in touch with him all the way. And the last couple of years, he took himself out of jobs where he could have had jobs. But he just got to the point that this is the year I want to take a job, and it worked out for both teams. Washington got a good selection, and he got a good situation where he's got the GM in lockstep with him, and he's got an owner that is committed to winning. And once you got the three of them in that direction with patience, you're going to be successful. And, of course, they hit the quarterback right away, which that was huge.
Joined by Charley Casserly, three-time Super Bowl champion, was GM for the Washington Redskins back in the day. You talked a little bit earlier about what it was like in town when this team was winning, back when you were the GM of the team. Have you noticed it building here? Because we've talked about it. And how long do you think it takes? The stadium still will be infiltrated by opposing fans. That wasn't the case when you were the GM.
Right,
how long do you think it takes to get to the point where Northwest Stadium is full of just Commanders fans?
I don't know if we'll ever see that again because of the way tickets are sold. Okay? We had RFK was unique because we had sellouts. This is a unique city. That RFK was sold out before the team ever won. Okay, the team lost for a number of years and it was still sold out. It was sold out shortly after I think it was built, and it didn't have a winning season until '69. It had been sold out for a number of years, so which is kind of unique, to say the least. So you have that there. I think the next stadium will be smaller. I think you're always going to have some element of the opposing fans just because of the way they sell tickets now. Okay, but that doesn't mean you can't keep building and building and building. The number of fans that you have in the stadium. That's bound to happen. So, especially with a new stadium.
Charley, kind of flipping the script, can you kind of talk about the Dan Campbell effect in Detroit? And, obviously they haven't had a lot of success as a team. They haven't been to many NFC. They've never hosted an NFC championship game. They went to the NFC championship game last year, and San Francisco blew a 17-point halftime lead. But obviously Campbell and that staff, they've completely flipped the script, and it's kind of shocking if you think about it. But
I thought, first of all, everyone always thought the Fords were good owners with patience, okay,
right,
and would give you what to win. So it starts with ownership. They have winning ownership, okay? Everybody thought they had. Campbell's a unique guy. He was not a coordinator, but he was an interim head coach. He's a natural leader, okay? But guys that like that, the best thing he did, okay? We know he's a leader and a dynamic guy and stuff like that, and that's huge. I mean, people follow this guy. But his staff, okay? Ben Johnson is an elite coordinator, okay? Aaron Glenn, elite defensive coordinator, okay? He got Aaron to come there, okay? Now, Ben kind of just snuck in. Ben was out of a job, and he was a G8 type guy, and, he was greatness waiting to happen, and Dan saw it and made him the offensive coordinator. So, Now he's going to have to probably replace both of them, so we'll see how he does there. But this is a guy who hired great coordinators, okay, and let him coach. And they made a hell of a deal. You see, if they had Stafford didn't want to stay, see.
Mm-hmm.
Stafford's still a good quarterback, okay?
Yeah.
If they had Stafford, the record probably wouldn't be any different. But he didn't want to play there anymore. So they got Goff, and Ben Johnson resurrected Goff. Just like down in Tampa, Mayfield's been resurrected. And I believe in Mayfield. I kind of believe in Goff. I'm not sure I believe in Darnold. So that was huge for him. Okay, and then they've drafted well. They hired a guy named John Dorsey, who was a fantastic talent guy. Didn't quite work out as a general manager, but he helped build Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of in the background there, but I know this guy's a winner. So they did a lot of good things in addition to hiring Campbell. Okay, so and they really, the coordinators are really great.